Sihle Xaba. I'm a professional lifeguard for about 15 years now. I'm also a surfer, and I do a little bit of spearfishing. Being involved in this, in life saving, and also being a bit of a spear fisherman, you know, I get to learn about nature, and that gives me the importance of how to look after nature itself. And also to think that, you know, when you're out there, when you see little fish swimming around, a school of fish or dolphins or sharks, you know, they live just like humans. You know, they eat, they got parents, and they need to be treated like how humans are treated. So it's very important to be educated about nature and to understand the importance of saving our oceans, for example, because, you know, out there are things that are living just like us. Just the other day, when I went diving, I was thinking, you know, it would be so nice and inspiring to actually get kids to take them out on a little boat trip, you know, to see the dolphins, because to them, because people eat fish, to them they don't understand that there are certain fish to be eaten, and there are certain fish that are endangered species, so they don't understand that concept. So to take them out there and actually to watch dolphins swimming around and explain to them that what are they there for, and maybe to take some of them on, take them to the aquariums, for example, which would be a lot more easier for them. They can actually look and be educated on these are the sort of fish you cannot touch. These are the friendly fish, and so forth and so forth. Like, for example, like how the sharks are being advertised as the bad fish that, or like a ruthless killer, which I don't believe, because I've had a lot of shark encounters with my spearfishing, and clearly I find sharks very fascinating. I love them to bits, because all it is that they're in their territory, and they like to live in peace, you know, and all they ever do is they're just curious, you know. They're not there to kill, you know. They're just like us. Like, if you've lived in a house for 15 years and you see something odd, obviously you'll go check out and see what is that. That's exactly what the sharks do, and people, they misinterpret that and say, no, sharks, they kill people, which is not what it is. And also I just find it sad when I think back, when I hear the history about the whaling station, that people used to go out and shoot whales, and they used to skin them and do whatever. And I'm very glad that it's not happening anymore on our Durban beaches. And it's just a beautiful sight at times when you're out there. You see whales jumping up and down. And I think the most fascinating thing that's been happening lately is that when I dive, I can actually hear the sounds of the humpback whales. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It's like I can just sit under the water and just close my eyes and just welcome those sounds, because, you know, there's nothing better than you know, hearing these whales, their callings. And also, just last week, also dolphins from miles away. I actually, it's funny enough, I was watching a fish, and I was just sitting there, you know, waiting to get a perfect shot. And next thing, I just hear this squeaky sounds. I'm like, wow, dolphins. And I just sat there, and before I knew it, you know, that fish was gone. And it didn't really matter. I just realized that, okay, basically I'm taking the dolphins' food away from them, because they live by these fish. You know, I mean, I have other alternative. I could go to the shop, go to the spa, buy food, and, you know, why? Okay, fine, but why take so many when there's, you know, when there's other creatures to feed on? Because, I mean, it's a circle, you know. It's a circle of life, you know. There's fish that mussels are feeding something. There's fish that feed on mussel, and there's other fish that feed on that fish. So, you know, that's just nature, and people should realize this, you know, that they shouldn't take more than they should, you know. At times I feel bad. At times I don't really feel bad for these people, as you know, as much as there's a lot of poverty, as much as they trying to earn a living or get a plate of food on their families' tables. But still, at most times I can't help to think, but there's also greed, in all of this. Because I mean, if you're only allowed to catch 3 shad, catch 3 shad, not undersized shad, but you'll find people catching 20 shad, 30 shad, and literally undersized. I mean, you can't even bite a meat off that little shad. I mean, what for? Why don't let these poor fish grow, and then catch that amount that you are told to catch, not more than that, because you're just killing nature, and it's just uncalled for, and you find people scraping mussels off the piers. They'll take bags and bags of mussels, and they say that no, they're hungry. I mean, you cannot feed a family of 5 with 5 bags full of mussels, because that's just too much, and they know this for the fact. And also keeping the piers, fishing piers clean. They've never been kept clean. It's always been dirty. I mean, they urinating in the ocean. I mean, how nice would it be if that's what I asked to one of the fishermen, and I said, would you like me to come and urinate in your house, in your lounge, And it was a big argument, because they do not understand that there are living things under the sea that would like to live freely and environmentally friendly as much as we'd like to. Because the funny thing I'm trying to understand is that if you go to places like the oil refinery, sometimes there's some terrible gas fumes that come out of there that really, really, really stink. And these people, they complain about it. But then when they urinate in the ocean and they mess up the ocean, they don't think that there's also people down there who think as much as us. Because I will actually look at the fish as humans, just like us. Because if you urinate and you put refuge in the ocean and everything, they live uncomfortably. You're endangering their lives as much as they would think that all this oil refinery, they're endangering our lives. But it's I think it's about time that these people are educated and be told how beautiful nature is. They need to be sat down and be shown, if they must do it, but they must do it responsibly. Yes, you do understand we also have to eat, but they must do it properly. Besides the ocean, we're looking at birds, we're looking at the albatross that feed on fish and everything. I mean, we've had experiences where a lot of these birds that are feeding off the ocean, we'd find them tangled with fishing lines, with fishing hooks and everything, and we'd free them. And basically keeping our beaches clean at all times. Those were one of the steps that's I would say the municipality is doing, because with our beaches, for example, Durban is clean 24/7. Like, you would get the beach cleaners from 6 o'clock in the morning. They're busy cleaning up the beach. They used to clean up the piers when they still had the fishermen, but I'm glad actually the piers eventually were closed for fishing because of the same problems. People smoking drugs off the piers. They will throw the same things into the ocean and all of that. So that was closed. It was a huge relief, because there are sad things like with the water that's been dredged out of the harbour, where the harbour, there's a lot of different, there's oil ships coming in, you name it, and all of those chemicals, they come straight out at the sea, and that affects the sea life, and with bathing and everything, bathers out there, you get kids swimming, and all I'm saying is I wish somebody could do something about it, or if they could find an alternative something to get rid of this dredging, because it happens quite frequently. And if they do dredge and the wind is blowing at the southwesterly direction, all that brown water goes all the way into the piers, and you've got mussels there. Some of them are rotting already. I mean, I've dived there. Some of the mussels there, they look terrible. And those fish, they can't feed on those mussels, because if they feed on them, they'll die. They'll get poisoned. So these mussels, they get poisoned because of all the dredging, because it's the water from deeper into the harbour, and you don't know what sort of chemicals are in that. So it's one of my most frustrating things ever at the moment.